Welcome, everyone, to Talladega Superspeedway, the ninth race of the HTL Challenger Series is here. 2.66 miles is a lap distance around this racetrack. 70 laps sit ahead of the drivers of the HTL Challenger Series. Here tonight, we are glad you're with us for HTL on ABN Tuesdays. It all continues here on ABN. Two races to go until the chase for the Challenger Series Championship. Two drivers already locked in to that conversation. Let's go ahead and let's walk you through what the standings look like going into this event. Josh Susie, Christina Ryan, those are the top two at the moment. They are locked in to the chase no matter what. Eli Sasek not far away, but it starts to get a lot tighter the further down you look here in the field. Blue Jade, Brady Smith, Byron Jones, Blake Henderson, your top seven. Alfred Denny, David Smith Jr., June Jimenez, Dustin Hall, Dakota Osborne, your top 12. Dustin Hall obviously jumping into the top 12 with his win last week in Charlotte. Those on the outside looking in. It's not by much. Josh Gaiman missing out by 6 points. Also not present tonight. He will slip further. But this is a wild card race. Don't rule anyone out just yet. Kevin Gibney Jr. also needs to try to gain some points on that cut line. Casey Ellis, John Matthews, Ryan Moutre, Wesley Worley. Look at those drivers trying to make their way in. Bobby Blowers as well on the outside looking in. Mark Parkhurst and DJ Anderson, the last drivers mathematically able to try to get in to the chase tonight. Not everyone present, so their chances will come to an end. Kristen Bayer, Bailey Thompson, Marcus Chafin, not full-time entries this season, not eligible for the chase at this point. Huge talking point going in is who's going to join. Josh Susie, the former two-time HTL Cup Series champion, and former ABN World Champion Christina Ryan, and punching their ticket into the chase tonight. We are glad you are with us. Qualifying is in its final minute. Byron Jones looking for another pole position. This will be his third, if he can do it. Dustin Hall goes third fastest. So we have 18 drivers on the board. Christina Ryan, the slowest of the bunch. But it's no sweat for the 80 truck. She's already locked in to the chase tonight. Now she'll try to work from the ninth row of the field. Byron Jones and Josh Susie, top of the running order. We'll take this time to shout out some of our Premier Tier Patreon subs. Thank you all for your support so far in 2026. Trade Ups Logan, Dogman2935, Eli Sasek, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, B-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J-Paw, Jake Potak, and the newest Premier Tier sub, June. Thank you all for your support so far this year. For those that are also subscribed to Patreon via the Plus tier, your names are also at the bottom of the screen on every broadcast. We're glad you're supporting us here on ABN Studios in such a big time of the year. If you want your name shouted out, if I can get everything to work the way I want it to. If you want your name, though, shouted out, easiest way to do so, it's in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or you can just scan the QR code on your screen to get started. Remember, Premier Tier subs get their name shouted out. Plus Tier, all of our subscribers also included at the bottom of the screen for every broadcast we do here, whether it's HTL, Winstel, Kart, ABN, High Octane, or Projects Beyond. Practice underway. Warm up. Last 5 minutes before a race gets underway. Here's your pole sitter, Byron Jones, out in front for this event. Byron Jones, this would be his 46th start in the series, his second pole position. Multi-energy number 24. We'll see what he can do here tonight. For everyone practicing pit entries here, 70 laps is no small feat. The stage that awards points around halfway is right down the middle tonight, into lap 35. So that'll make things pretty straightforward. Longer races, as we saw in Charlotte a week ago, eliminating the fuel saving portion of the races that we had seen the month before. This race could still become a fuel mileage race if cautions fall the right way. That's never out of question. Just less likely with this extended distance. 18 trucks is the marker, similar to Daytona in Atlanta. Surprisingly, for a community that loves the plate track racing and excels at it, the plate races have had the smaller numbers this season. This is the last plate race of the Challenger Series campaign for Season 3. After tonight, it is a gauntlet. Darlington, Indy, Nashville, Michigan, Miami. So I'll be fun to kind of keep an eye on. See Ryan? See that number 80? That Goodwrench Chevrolet. Good old Ron Hornaday throwback from 2005. Going around on the racetrack. A winner last time we were at a plate race in Atlanta. A little hot there in the into pit lane. Everyone figuring it out. Another car on pit lane with some work to do. That's the 11, June Jimenez. First plate race in HTL coming up here in just a minute or two. And some news from the Arrowhead Racing camp. Arrowhead Racing opening up another entry, opening up basically a satellite team called Sablier Racing. And Jimenez will be in the 11 car for that project beginning in Talladega on Monday. What was supposed to be a 2-car project for Arrowhead Racing has turned into a 7-car fleet by the midway of the Cup Series campaign. 4 charters, 3 unchartered entries now, sitting in the wings. But it's time to get down to business here on Tuesdays for the Alabama 300. Let's go ahead and go through the starting grid for tonight's event. Row 1, Byron Jones on pole position ahead of the points leader and the former 2-time HTL Cup Series champion Josh Soucy. Fun to see how this plays out. All Ram front row. Dustin Hall, his Chevrolet for Unforgiven Motorsports. Inside row 2 alongside Tombstone Motorsports' Alfred Denny, who qualified 4th in the Danhausen machine. Casey Ellis and Brady Smith in row 3. Ellis, one of his better qualifying efforts, his teammate on pole position. Brady Smith out-qualifying his Ascent Racing teammate, starts 6th on the grid tonight. Blue Jade for Woofle Motorsports and Bailey Thompson for Tombstone Motorsports in row 4. Your top 10 rounded out by Bobby Flowers, filling in for John Matthews, and Blake Henderson, a frequent flyer this weekend, getting back from Texas just in time to race here on Tuesdays. They'll start 10th tonight. Davis Buick Jr., Dakota Osborne in row number 6. They'll sit just outside the top 10 for the start of this race. Junior Jimenez, first plate start, starts 13th alongside Kevin Gibney Jr. Tristan Bayer, Eli Sasek will make up row number 8, 15th and 16th on the grid. Your last row, Wesley Worley and Christina Ryan will make up this 18-car field from the back here tonight. A huge shout out to Denison Graphics, one of our frequent partners here on ABN, whether it's working with thumbnails, working with camera sets, such as the track set you're seeing tonight here at Talladega, and so much more. Blake Henderson and his experience and his creativity, super helpful, especially for us here on ABN, especially with everything you see with HTL as well. Got to see him on the racetrack. Wasn't sure if he'd be here tonight, but here he is. It is all about, right now, Byron Jones and Josh Soucy at the front of the field. We have 2 laps of formation. We were off for the holiday weekend for U.S. Independence Day weekend. And now we're back. We're back again on Thursday, the 9th, for the CART IndyCar Series from Richmond. It's Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Patreon and YouTube. And we'll be back again for HTL Cup Series action on Monday, the 13th, here in Talladega. The next Challenger Series race, as I mentioned, is in Darlington, and that'll be the last race before the chase for the Challenger Series Championship. Some drivers will set themselves up for success and lock themselves into the chase tonight. Others might find themselves scrambling at the track too tough to tame next Tuesday. Josh Soucy, Christina Ryan. No sweat for them tonight. Soucy won at Daytona. Christina Ryan won at Atlanta. And they are at polar opposite ends of the field. Christina Ryan 18th, Soucy 2nd. As they enter these last two races, just feeling the vibe, grabbing momentum before the chase for the championship begins. Everyone in the middle either looking to play spoiler or looking to punch their ticket into the chase. As it was in Daytona, as it was in Atlanta, 18 trucks set to go racing. Some new names from Atlanta compared to Atlanta, some familiar names. Everyone gets to dance at the largest plate race on the HTL calendar. And we'll add laps to it for Monday's Cup Series event. Some breaking news for those that have missed it. The race on Monday will be using the Gen 7 car. We've been using the 6th generation platform for the plate races in the Cup Series. However, due to issues with that car that have arrived in the most recent weeks, we'll be using the Gen 7 platform for the race on Monday. If the issue persists, the Gen 7 will see the rest of the season out altogether. It's already being used for non-plate races, similar to what it was last season in the Cup Series. Beyond that, it is business as usual, and business is about to pick up here in Alabama. Byron Jones, Josh Soucy, Dustin Hall, and Alfred Denny, your top 4 here for the start of the HTL Alabama 300. The green flag flies, and we're underway. We are racing in Talladega. Extra horsepower, remember 110%, as it has been practically the entire season. Car driving down out of the way was Davis Milne Jr. below the yellow line. Out of bounds rule exists. You cannot advance position below the double yellow line. You can drop back. You can give up position. Josh Soucy qualified second, and you saw his teammates drop back. He'll all drop back. This is very familiar for Gibney Racing Division. They've done it for all the plate races so far, dropping to the back, trying to stay out of trouble, especially after the trouble they found in Charlotte a week ago. So Byron Jones and Dustin Hall will lead the way on the opening lap here in Talladega. Remember, stage points awarded on lap 35 unless a caution comes out within 5 laps of the halfway point. If a caution comes out within that 5-lap mark, the time of caution will determine the order. Those involved in the accident will not score points. Top 10 score stage points from 10 to 1. And every point right now, more than ever, counts for those trying to hold on or make it in to the chase. Casey Ellis up to 3rd. Blue Jade in 4th. Was a rocket ship in Daytona in Atlanta in the 83 car. Has a non-plate racing podium as well. Very important to note there. Blue Jade not just fast on the superspeedways, has pace elsewhere. But we know the 83 is potent here on the plate tracks. And sitting 4th is not a surprise. Bobby Blowers, we know how good he can be. 3 Orlando Outlaws trucks and 1 associate truck with Blue Jade are sitting in that top 5 conversation. The inside lane, currently where it's at. Alfred Denny trying to lead the way on the outer lane with support from Bailey Thompson. I believe that's where you'll find Blake Henderson as well. Jimenez, I'm believing, on the inside lane. I might be wrong on that. Nope, Jimenez is on the inside lane. Osborne outside lane. 3 wide further back. Christina Ryan trying to make moves to get closer to that top 10 already, and it's not going to quite work out. All alone on the outer lane, trying to get around both Osborne and Sassett. This could be a similar situation to what we saw in Daytona, where there just wasn't enough vehicles on the racetrack to generate momentum on that outside lane. The outside lane doesn't have the numbers advantage either at this particular point in time. Everyone, I think, trying to sit at this point. With the stage on lap 35, no one can make it all the way to the end of the stage without a pit stop. So there isn't a fuel-safe strategy going on here. For Gibney Racing Division, they are thinking simply stay out of the trouble that could brew at any point here at Talladega. They have seen the good and the bad here in Alabama over the past, give it 3.5 years since HTL and ABN began its partnership back in 2022. Outside lane trying to move forward a little bit of a bobble there between Denny, Henderson, and Thompson in the middle. but they are trying to make some inroads here. Everyone figuring out things pretty quickly. Henderson did not run many laps in practice. Neither did Alfred Denny or Bailey Thompson. It was a very quiet track to practice. Orlando Outlaws ran some laps. Give Racing Division ran some laps. But those were your only mainstays that were on the racetrack most of the practice session. That was an hour and 15 minutes long tonight. Tombstone Motorsports hoping to rely on just pure teamwork and leadership there. We know how good they are on the plate races. The last time HTL came to Talladega, Tombstone Motorsports was in contention to win. They won one of the 2 Talladega races last season with Apperson. His first career Cup Series win in HTL. And now here we go again. Apologize for the interruption there for those tuning along on Patreon and YouTube. Had a bit of a family emergency there that had diffused, but we are still going. Still going strong here. 15 cars in this main pack with the 3 GRD trucks further back. Not losing draft, but also not trying to keep too awful close. In that meantime, we have seen the outside lane make its way forward. Dustin Hall, following his Cinderella week last week, finding the front of the field again, even if just momentarily. Not a lot of support on the inside lane from the Outlaws trucks, and that's going to pave the way for Alfred Denny to grab the race lead for the first time here in Talladega. And the alliance holds strong between Unforgiven and Tombstone. 4 trucks on the outside lane, and they're going to keep going here. Henderson now leads the outside lane ahead of Christina Ryan as Alfred Denny and Bailey Thompson slot in front of the inside lane that has the numbers but not the momentum at the moment. Osborne, Bayer, Worley, Smith, and Sasek all lining up on the outside lane now behind the Tombstone and Unforgiven duo of Henderson and Ryan. Good company to be behind on the outside lane right now. Henderson, a winner at Talladega. Christina Ryan, a winner at Atlanta this season. There's Dustin Hall. Now sits third on the inside lane alongside Osborne. Tombstone Motorsports controls both lanes right now. Henderson led that lap. Fords lead the way. But onwards we march right now. With 18 trucks all running. That's how it was in Daytona to a degree. There were some more hiccups in the race there in Florida to open up the season. But we had the field running all the way to the finish. Do not expect attrition in this race. For those that have tuned in all season long, you will know that you don't have a lot of attrition in this series. You lose maybe 1 or 2 trucks early, and then everyone else just goes to the finish. That's how we're expecting some of this to go as well. Jimenez backing up a little bit in the 11. So now this 4 car is hanging back 14 in this front group. But everyone all in the mix right now. Couple trucks coming down pit lane early. It's the GRD trucks, of course, coming down pit lane early on lap 15. As the field completes the lap under green flag conditions, 15 trucks stay out. The other 3, Susie, Gibney, and Smeal, all coming down the pit lane together. What should be fuel-only stops. You can see, are they doing fuel only or are they taking tires? Fuel only on the numbers there. Almost identical pit stop times there for all 3 of them, synchronized as it needs to be here in Talladega. The question is, will they avoid going a lap down in this process? They should. They're now coming out of pit lane, so you'd imagine they should. But here's the track map. There they are, out of turn 2. So they are safely on the lead lap at the moment. But it is 3 versus 15. They've got to hope that they can go either as fast or faster than this Hornet's nest of cars. Henderson clears Alfred Denny, gets to the inside lane. Tombstone, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. Christina Ryan now leading the outside charge ahead of Osborne. And for Josh Juicy and Christina Ryan, no sweat for them. They love extra wins. They're locked into the chase. Everyone else is the ones having to worry about sweating it out a little bit over the next 2 weeks. Henderson's one of those that could punch his ticket into the chase tonight. A win would do that. Billy Thompson, the 27th, third in line. Mathematically impossible. Ready on board with Thompson. Behind Alfred Denny in that Danhausen, number 21, and they go outside lane. Henderson goes to block. Denny's looking for the race lead. Henderson, and you see it going 3 wide. The 3 teammates deciding they want to race it out a little bit. Henderson's going to have the race lead. Denny's going to drop backwards. Dustin Hall's in the mix. He's saying thank you. 3 wide now, 2 rows. Tristan Bayer in the middle in that number 5 machine. He slots in line ahead of Dustin Hall, but behind Blake Henderson. Christina Ryan gets ahead of Blake Henderson. And Thompson now leads here in Talladega. Christina Ryan says, I'll like the lead. Thank you very much. Henderson goes with. No surprise there. And everyone dumps the 27 for greener pasture. Ryan leads for the first time tonight. And we're beginning to see some of that jockeying position. A little bit of contact there between Brady Smith and Wesley Worley. Everyone keeps it going in the right direction, but it will cause a little separation. A little bit of a hiccup there. Eli Sasek drops back down to 15th. Everyone getting a little bit more rowdy in this opening half of the Alabama 300. And down pit lane, some trucks come. Tristan Bayer, Wesley Worley, Blue Jay, Byron Jones, Casey Ellis, Bobby Blowers, the Orlando Outlaws and friends come down pit lane, and now it's a 9-truck fiesta that is not well put together at all, with pit stops looming for the leaders. Now on lap 21. So Orlando Outlaws in that group came down pit lane with 15 to go in stage 1. Thompson now leads over Dustin Hall, Christina Ryan, Alfred Denny, Blake Henderson, Brady Smith, Dakota Osborne, June Jimenez, and Eli Sasek. Do they come down pit lane together? They stay out. They're going to run long here. And you saw a puff of smoke. That puff of smoke, I believe, is none other than Wesley Worley, who had issues coming down pit lane and is going to go a lap down. Not very well versed in green flag pit stops is the 13. Only done 2 of them at plate races. A little bit of a hiccup there. He was in near the front of the Orlando Outlaws group, so could have been a little bit of a hiccup there. By the way, he will go a lap down. Will be the first truck a lap down. Looks like it might have been contact with Casey Ellis, who was with him at the front of that first pack that came down pit lane. We'll look to see if we have a replay of that incident. We may not. If we do, we'll be able to show it to you. But Ellis now about to go a lap down as well. A little bit of a bump as Thompson goes top side. Dustin Hall stays on the bottom lane. Now support from Brady Smith. Sasek has lost this group altogether. He has come down pit lane. That's why. What they hope is a fuel-only stop. 2 tires for Bayer, Blowers, Jade, Jones, and Ellis. Fuel only for Smeal, Susie, and Gibney. 4 tires for Worley. I would imagine it might be fuel only for most of the drivers up here. Tires do not wear an exorbitant degree, I should say, in these trucks at plate races. Same for the Cup cars. You don't really see the tire wear super exaggerated. Everyone, though, under a blanket here in this top 8. Sasek going a lap down, came down pit lane alone. Still on pit lane because of speeding in pit lane. Penalty for the 9, Eli Sasek speeding down pit lane. So he is still there. And he is in danger of losing 2 laps if this race doesn't have a yellow. This race setting up a lot like Atlanta. Not a lot of yellows in that race. The opening part of that race was very green. And the top 8, side by side, 4 rows. Ellis has lost his teammates as well. And will drop to the tail end here. Will be the first truck a lap down. Justin Hall, Christina Ryan doing a little bit of shake and bake out in front on the outside lane. And Ellis will slot in line behind Dakota Osborne, but this will be a brief reprieve as they will come down pit lane before this stage is over. Stage ends, coming to 10 to go. Once we get to the end of lap 35. We're ending lap 25 now. And Dustin Hall out in front. Christina Ryan, June Jimenez, top 3 at the moment. Thompson trying to squeeze her way forward. Jimenez saying, not quite. Jimenez, a 2-time winner this season. Trying to win on her first plate race in HTL. Ever. 2 prior Cup starts as a substitute back in Season 3. But here we are now. Dustin Hall leads the way. Jimenez running full-time here in the Challenger Series. We'll be running part-time in the Cup Series beginning Monday, as we talked about at the beginning of the show with Arrowhead Racing and its new Sablier project. Sasek going 2 laps down. You see him on the outside lane there. They are now single file because this group is now contemplating when they are going to come down pit lane. They cannot get to the end of the stage. They cannot do all 35 laps without coming down pit lane for fuel. The Gibney Racing Division team have done enough to close in within 40 seconds. They will inherit the race lead as things sit when this group come down pit lane. And here they come. All 8 lead lap cars coming down pit lane here, trying to stay below Trouble Jimenez. Everyone gets to pit lane, though, and I'm not seeing any penalties. Ryan hits the box first. Jimenez, I think, missed. Nope, Jimenez in the box. A little squirrely on the brakes there. A little riled up there. Ryan now leaving pit lane. You'll see the GRD trucks. There they are. Top of your screen. Jimenez will lose the draft here pretty handily. And this group, importantly, will fall behind the Orlando Outlaws group. Because there they are. This train of 4 up to speed will also get around. Dustin Hall out ahead. Interesting to see how this all plays out. They'll get around the one, but then Dustin Hall should be up to speed enough that he can hang in there. Kelly Thompson, a little bit of latency. Not what you want to see on a plate track. Osborne and Jimenez not alone in that conversation. They've got each other right now. And with pit stops now completed, it leaves just Eli Sasek as the lone car a lap down right now. Wesley Worley on an island still. Will likely go a lap down under green flag conditions here, but to the GRD group that leads the way. Now you've got a huge train all looking to try to close in on the top three. And GRD played it out pretty smart. Stayed at the back of the field, came down pit lane on their own early on. They came down pit lane on lap 15. And they're going to have some very valuable stage points. I would not be surprised to see Susie and Gibney swap positions to help Gibney with the point situation. As I mentioned, every point counts. Gibney needs those points to have a chance at the chase going into Darlington in the cutoff next Tuesday. The gap, though, does not appear to be shrinking. We'll see with Hall, Ryan, and Thompson now out in front. What can they do? Gap is 7 seconds. I will tell you, side drafting like what they are right now gives me the perception that they are not trying to catch the top three. They're worried about the points that they are in right now. Not everyone in this group will score stage points. Flowers, Henderson, and Bayer currently on the outside looking in on those stage points. Two to go in the stage. And the top three still in line as well. Very curious to see how this plays out. Because again, Gibney needs all the points he can get. Susie already locked in to the chase. Wonder if that is a concerted idea just to kind of leave them as they are at the moment. I would assume it might be. You're gaining on this group. You're opening up a gap. You're hoping to do the same here in stage 2, the second half of this race. White flag in stage number 1. And they have done a swap here. Gibney out in front. Saw it through into turn 3. They got it taken care of there. Lost about 0.6 of a second. But they will get Gibney the full 10 points here. He was the furthest one back of the 3 on being into the chase. And Kevin Gibney Jr. wins stage 1 here in Talladega. Ahead of Susie and Smeal. Coordinated effort there. Hall and Denny, your top 5. Thompson and Blowers, your top 10. At the very tail end, will score the last stage points ahead of Brady Smith, Blake Henderson, and Tristan Bayer, who score nothing in stage 1. And now the conversation quickly moves to the second lap of the race, and how do you get yourself to the lead on lap 70? Easier said than done with the 3-car group leading the way right now that have over a 7-second advantage. It is 3 versus 10 right now. Wesley Worley will be lapped here in just a moment. You see there he is, all alone, following that pit stop fiasco on lap 20. And if he is smart, he'll just sit right behind the leaders. They'll come down pit lane before him, but he can stop the bleeding a little bit. I would expect that the GRD trucks, if they're going to go the full distance, they're going to come down pit lane on lap 43, and I'm not sure .43 might just do it. 43 might just do it to get to the end of the race. It might just. Worley will drop in behind Davis Mills Jr. here. There he goes. And he's just going to stay behind them for the next 4 to 5 laps. Everyone's single file here. And that sort of just reaffirmed that they were not worried about catching the leaders on the stage. They were worried about getting the stage points they could get now. And now they're going to try to close the gap in. 7.5 is the gap between Hall and Gibney at the front of the field. Lap 39 underway. 2 trucks a lap down. Wesley Worley the first, Eli Sasek the other. If a caution were to come out for some reason, Worley would be back on the lead lap, and Sasek would need another one. Plate races have been the only races so far this season where we've seen more than one yellow. So statistically, there's a chance. It's just difficult. Seeing if they can close the gap in at the moment. And the gap's hardly budged. And now, you see, there's not really an extra car there. With Worley, he's sitting back a little bit. He's not really on this top 3, so they're not getting any benefit from him being there. So it is, quite literally, it is 10 versus 3 right now. And the 3 are holding on strong. And Denny is dropping back. He is feeling that he is not able to push the 1. Less than 30 to go. Pit stops looming for the top 3 at the moment. So they're going to go one more lap here. Worley has caught up to them. He is firmly in that conversation now. Worley came down pit lane on lap 20, so he can go to lap 48. I would consider, if I was Wesley Worley, I would consider coming down with these 3. I would consider it. Smaller group. Stay with drafts. Don't take tires on this. Make sure you can stay with them. And just hang with them. Just hang with them at the moment. Gives you your best shot if a caution does come out further down the order, because it will likely have to come from that mid-pack. It gives you the ability to stay ahead of it and to get that lap back early. That being said, they stay on an extra lap as well. They were supposed to come down pit lane, it looks like, on lap 43. They've gone a little bit longer here. With Gibney on in front. Remember, they also cycled Gibney to the front for that stage win to help him out in his chase ambitions. So maybe with Gibney sitting back a little bit, it's allowing those of Susie and Smil to save a little bit more fuel and go just a little bit longer. I wouldn't imagine more than a lap being different. Doesn't look like Worley's going to stay with them as they get ready to come down pit lane. Not this time. Very interesting how this is playing out right now. This race, a tale of two halves, the haves and have-nots. The gap has actually increased between the top 3 and those behind. Very important questions going to need to be asked here of this group. How do you close in on the top 3? Top 3 in pit lane now. And Worley did come with them. Very, very smart play for Wesley Worley. As they all come down pit lane together, fuel only for that 13 truck has to be if he's going to stick this out. Susie in his box last. Worley messed up his pit lane, so he's not going to stick with him. Just not going to be possible. But Worley will be good to the finish. Sasek, the only other car a lap down right now, has a pit stop to make. .24 laps to go here. Realistically, this group will try to stay out until about lap 56, lap 57. But it is a 10-truck group right now. That now have inherited the race lead with Hall, Ryan, Smith, Thompson, Henderson, and Jade. Your top 6. Jones, your pole sitter, in 7th. Flowers, Bayer, and Denny, your top 10. Car up the road. I believe that is Worley. It is. It is Wesley Worley, about to go a second lap down, which is not going to be helpful. But Sasek was in this position too. Sasek here with Jimenez and Osborne. Sitting right now, Sasek in 17th, Osborne and Jimenez 11th and 12th. A whole lot of movement that they can do right now. Worley goes top side. We'll let the leaders go through. Not complicated at all there. And the Outlaws trucks come down pit lane now. Jade, Blowers, Jones, Bayer down pit lane together. Alfredini, I think, caught out by that a little bit. Will try to keep up with his teammates. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ahead of him. A lot of plate racing experience in this group with Hall, with Ryan, with Henderson, with Denny in this top 6. Here they come down pit lane. 50 laps on the dot. A little bit of a lockup there. Did everyone get through without speeding? Yes, they did. Clean stop there. And as they approach pit lane, Ellis comes down pit lane. He will go a lap down more than likely here. Dakota Osborne, Eli Sasek staying out, so Osborne will actually lead a lap here. With Sasek in tow. Fuel only stop. This is going to be close. Going to be very close. I don't think they're going to stop this group of 3 from taking the lead back, but they're going to be closer than what they were. Bobby Blowers, funny enough, was the closest to keeping up with him. And now he just might have a chance. Brady Smith, Christina Ryan. This group somehow got together. They somehow jumped it together. Wow. Not everyone was so fortunate. Christina Ryan trying to block, trying to slow this group down, and they do. Big time slow this group down. But now, GRD's got to face the music here. We have a lead pack unified for the first time since lap 15. And it looks like it is 10 trucks in the conversation. If Henderson can keep up with Blowers, I don't think he can. And that's going to be frustrating. But the race is now on with less than 20 to go. And Osborne makes a pit stop, as does Sasek. They will pit from the front of the field. Sasek a lap down. Briefly had his lap back. That won't be the case anymore. Coming to 18 to go here in Talladega. 9 trucks in this conversation. Really 8 in this conversation. Henderson's lost touch of the draft. He'll slip back to Alfred Denny and company. Alfred Denny, Blue Jade, Byron Jones outside the top 10. Hold on to your hats. This 18 laps will not be straightforward. We know that. It is Gibney Racing Division back out in front, followed by Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson, Dustin Hall, Bobby Flowers, and Brady Smith. Your top 8 in this lead conversation. Christina Ryan on the outside lane, support from Thompson. Looking for the race lead. That is Blowers, third in line behind them. Ryan out in front now, Thompson in second. The pressure is on here at the front of the field. Henderson has dropped down to Alfred Denny, Byron Jones, and Blue Jade. And that group of 4 now hoping for a caution from this top 8. Casey Ellis in pit lane. Looks like his race is effectively done. Jimenez, last car on the lead lap there in the 14th, has been pitted alone, and has been alone since lap 49. And you want to look at the speedometer. Let's look at the speedometer of the race leader. What is the speed they are touching down the back straightaway? 187 mid-corner for your race leader, Christina Ryan. And they're going to sniff 200 miles an hour down this back straightaway. 190, 191, 192. Quite the speed we saw earlier on. Top speed that we saw entering the speed trap, entering turn 3, was 197 earlier on in this race. Everyone's still calculating their moves. That's why you're seeing single file at the moment. That is Dakota Osborne about to go a second lap down. And you'll move out of the way for this top 8 to go on through. Coming to 12 laps to go here in Talladega. It is an 8-car group that lead the way. It's the calm before the storm here in Alabama. Before, just not able to quite have the same pace. Looked at Christina Ryan in the dashboard there. 187 mid-corner through turns 1 and 2. 184 for Henderson, Denny, Jaden Jones. They just don't have the muscle there right now. So they need a little bit of chaos from this front group, which now has Dakota Osborne tailing on in the background there, the 79. Osborne into this race 12th in points. 17th will not help him right now. The only help for him is knowing that Josh Gaiman, the next closest driver to him, was not here tonight. 2 laps down. I'm not sure why he's trying to side draft the leaders right now, knowing there's not a whole lot he can do here. He's not the first truck a lap down, and he wouldn't get his lap back in that situation. 10 to go. It is almost showtime. Jimenez about to go a lap down for the first time here tonight. Next car in front of the leaders. If there's going to be a caution in this race, they are leaving it late. A lot of cars single file or on their own little islands here. Eli Sasek just up the road is on an island as well, on the verge of going a second lap down, as is Tristan Baer, who has a little bit of help, Wesley Worley, in that conversation, as they try to avoid losing more time to the race leaders. Jimenez goes topside. We'll let the leaders go on through. Now 1 lap down. And we'll join a fight with Dakota Osborne at the back of this group. And now, for Jimenez, you're hoping you catch Tristan Baer. You kind of need that to happen pretty quickly. For Osborne, he's just got to stick in there and wait for them to catch Eli Sasek. And that should not be a problem. Everyone is leaving it late here. No one's tried making moves. No one's tried timing things. And that surprises me. You want to at least trial it for a second. You want to trial it and see see what the timing looks like. Either everyone feels comfortable with what they got to do, or no one's quite sure what they want to do yet. Smeel, a lot of latency for the 10. Leaving it late. Not what you want to see. Did he get reset to pit lane, or is he still rolling? He is still rolling, but he's going to drop behind the lap cars. Sasek will go another lap down. There'll be a second lap down for the 9. Coming to 6 to go. Christina Ryan, your front and center truck in this field. This will be 12 laps led for the 80, who won in Atlanta earlier this season. Bailey Thompson just behind. He's only led 3 laps, but has led laps here. Kevin Gibney Jr. has led a few laps. He's led 12. Josh Susi, yet to lead a lap, despite starting front row and being at the front of the field most of this race, has not led a single lap yet. Brady Smith also yet to lead a lap. Bobby Blowers not yet led a lap. Dustin Hall led 10 early on. Davis Muir Jr. led 6 laps early on in this race. The group behind, they are on an island. Not a whole lot they can do, I'm assuming. They're just holding with fingers crossed that something falls their way from this top group that now has lap traffic in it at the tail end. Ryan out front. Thompson, Gibney, Susie, Smith, Flowers, your top 6. Hall and Smeal, your top 8. All in this group. Trying to figure out with 5 laps to go what they want to do. And well, what do you want to do with 5 to go? The world is your oyster at this point. It's also what you make of it. Coming to 4 to go. The miles are ticking down with the laps in sizable number. 4 to go. Tristan Bayer might, just might, stay lead lap. It'll be close. And that's going to be the conflicting part about this, is that you've got lap cars hoping that Tristan Bayer and Wesley Worley get caught in these last 4 laps, coming to 3 to go. Teammates first and second, teammates third and fourth. And then it's a bit of a hodgepodge of different teams outside the top 4. Gibney takes a peek to the outside, slots back in line. Now's not the time, says Josh Susie in 4th. 3 to go. If they catch the draft of Tristan Bayer and Wesley Worley on the last lap, that'll change a lot. You do not want to leave it that late. You do not want to leave it to the last lap. You got to start thinking things now. Gibney's thinking now. Thompson's reacting to now. Christina Ryan has to be mirror driving at this point. But this is a position she's been in so many times in her career. Does not matter the vehicle. She finds her way to the front of the field. 2 to go. The largest track on the iRacing calendar. And here you go. Do you cover it off? 100% you do. And Christina Ryan telegraphed it good enough to keep the 31 in tow and keep him behind. Gets to the bottom of the racetrack. The teammates stay topside. Not sure I agree with that. She came back topside anyway. A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a shove. And it upsets the teammates there. Coming to the white flag. It'll be 1 lap to go, presented by Henderson Graphics. And everyone is in the bunch. Door to door. At this point, this is for all the marbles. Teammates on the bottom for Tombstone and Unforgiven. Teammates up top for Gibney Racing Division. A 2.6-mile drag race around the largest oval in the HTL calendar. Last time, Gibney won a race in the HTL Top Flight. Season 2, Richmond. They are 4 wide behind. Coming through the tri-oval. They turn. They touch. Everyone wrecks behind. Kevin Gibney Jr. He wins in Talladega. And the entire top 8 wreck behind. Susie fell on the sword for his teammate, and it worked. Kevin Gibney Jr. is an HTL race winner for the first time in over 4 years. It's not a cup win, but it is a win. And it's a win on one of the big tracks for Kevin Gibney Jr. Dustin Hall, close, but we'll have to settle for second here. It'll help his point situation out significantly going into Darlington next week. And Bobby Blowers, the super sub, with a torn-up race truck, held on and brought that 98 truck for Orlando Outlaws third here tonight. Last-minute sub turns out successful once again. Christina Ryan, fourth. Davis Muir Jr., we saw him come down pit lane there in fifth. Josh Susie ends up this race seventh. So we'll congratulate his teammate. Teamwork made the dream work there, and for Gibney, this was best case scenario. Won the stage, wins the race. And the gap to him making the chase has narrowed significantly. And he gets to burn it down here in Alabama. Victorious in Talladega. Living his mark up against the wall there. They had the playbook in Daytona. Latency. Cut things short for Gibney and for Smeal. Had the playbook in Atlanta. Christina Ryan was just a little bit wiser. Josh Susie, a 3-time race winner this season. Josh Gaiman giving that team a 4th win. And Kevin Gibney Jr., the team owner, finally breaks through to win at Talladega, the 5th win for the team in the Challenger Series in this 3rd season of action. A phenomenal run for Kevin Gibney Jr. We have podium interviews coming up here shortly, but here is how the Alabama 300 looked at the end. Kevin Gibney Jr. from 14th to 1st, winning the stage, maximizing stage points the best that he could tonight. Dustin Hall 2nd, ahead of Bobby Blowers. Christina Ryan from last to 4th was leading up to the white flag lap. Ends up 4th after contact with Josh Susie at the end. Davis Muir Jr. in 5th, Brady Smith 6th, Josh Susie 7th, ahead of Bailey Thompson, Blake Henderson, and Blue Jade, who round out your top 10 here in Alabama. Byron Jones, Alfred Denny, your top 12. Disappointing given how they started this race. But all 17 finished outside of Casey Ellis, who was on pit lane and only completed 48 laps. Tristan Bayer, June Jimenez, Wesley Worley, Eli Sasek, Dakota Osborne, seeing the checkered flag tonight here in Alabama. We have podium interviews coming up here momentarily. Stay with us here on Patreon and on YouTube. We told you the race would get wild at the end. They left it super, super late. And overall, I think it worked out pretty well for the group. Caution-free here at Talladega is the important facet to keep an eye on there. And with that, we'll get ready for interviews here. We'll talk to 3rd place, Bobby Blowers, the super sub, first and foremost in this event. A wild race here in Talladega. Bobby Blowers, you, prior to 15 minutes prior to qualifying, weren't sure if you're going to be here. You come in, you finish 3rd, qualify well, and you get Orlando Outlaws on the podium here in Talladega. A wild race, a lot of different strategies, but caution-free here at this large oval. Walk us through it. That was, especially the last few laps, pretty wild to see play out.
I don't even know what happened. That the last little bit, I didn't have any friends that I knew of anyway. And was just gonna go with where the momentum looked like it was going. Everybody went high. There was like 4 stacked up high. So I was like, okay, I'll just go back to the bottom stay on the bottom with Christina and Bailey and see if we can get that bottom going again. Then last lap coming in the tri-oval, everything just got so dicey, and I think we were 4, or maybe they're 4 in front
You
of
were
me. Something like
4 wide coming to the tri-oval. It was 4.
that. Then a couple of them got together in the middle. I got shot down to the grass, and I was like, great, that's gonna be it. And then I just get rebounded back to the right up track, and I was like, okay, maybe second here. And then I was trying to just save it, wheeling it through the fucking apron. There's just nothing I could do there. Lost it, went back right into Dustin, and he got me by just a hair. But honestly, that was fun.
Super Sub has been a fun thing to watch here for you this season. You've not been worried about the points. It's just worried about filling in and being there for the team this season. That being said, your Super Sub performances are keeping you mathematically in the conversation for the chase. Darlington coming up here. Is there a chance we see you back on the racetrack again at the track Too Tough to Tame in 7 days?
I wish, but no. I'll be absent next Monday and Tuesday. Unfortunately, unfortunately for y'all, I guess, I don't know. I'm gonna be on vacation, so not gonna be here. So not gonna be the Super Sub making the chase this time around.
Well, we got to believe here tonight in Talladega, a third place finish, a wild run, very much a team dynamic game here in Alabama, with Orlando taking pit stops at different times, GRD taking pit stops at different times, Tombstone making pit stops at different times. A lot of fun to watch it all play out across a green flag, bell-to-bell race here in Alabama. We don't see those very often. We saw it here tonight. Before we let you go, and obviously let you get ready for that vacation next week, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Glad you got a podium here at Talladega, because you're not going to be able to do it next Monday, but a phenomenal drive nonetheless.
Yeah, get it out of the way, right?
I think it's the right one to grab with the Cup Series and everything that we've seen with the latency there on Monday nights with that car situation. Pretty good one to pick. And free race. When we post the points on social media later in the night, you will quite literally see a picture of, instead of it being a car number, it'll be a submarine sandwich for Bobby Blowers. Everyone got a kick out of that a few weeks ago. You'll see that again on social media tonight. Bobby Blowers not going to be in the chase conversation next Tuesday. Enjoy your vacation, and we'll see you again when we roll around after next week for HTL action.
Yeah, thank you.
A phenomenal job for Bobby Blowers. Third place finisher tonight. It was almost back-to-back success for Dustin Hall in that number 1 truck. 10 laps led earlier on in this race. Strategy was the biggest dictating factor in how this race played out. 18 trucks, similar to Daytona and Atlanta. It seemed like we needed more for momentum to really take hold here. That being said, still a lot of sparks to fly on that last lap, and Dustin Hall almost found victory again. Second place for Dustin Hall tonight. Walk us through that race. It seemed frustrating until the very end when everyone had a chance to actually go for it.
Yeah, these races are really long. When you're racing with people who know what they're doing and whatnot, you get this separation, you get packs, and know that if you get to racing around with each other, you run the risk of causing a caution, slowing your pack down, whatever that would bring the whole field back together. And just by law of elimination, if you're in that lead pack and there's 7 lead lap trucks there, your chances go up to 1 of 7 instead of 1 of 18. So I know it's not exciting to watch. It's not the most exciting to drive, but it just kind of got to be that way to just improve your chances. The race itself was, yes, you're absolutely right. There was a lot of different strategy. There was that trio that pitted early. I was very impressed they were able to keep the speed in just a 3-truck pack. But they pitted early in stage 1, were able to shorten that pit stop. We had the opposite strategy where we ran it out and worked to shorten our last pit stop. Basically, the time that you spend on pit road is dictated wholly by how much fuel you have to take. They took that light load on the first stop. We took it on the last stop, and I'll be damned if we didn't just all end up together again. So kind of a fun race, watching it all play out. We had a lot of fun racing for the stage points and tried to give a show for a little while. because we were all just bored riding single file. So you saw a lot of teammates throwing moves on teammates there, and that was a lot of fun. But then when it came down to finish the stage one, we just had to kind of think about the bigger picture and the race to win. But all in all, hey, not a bad plate race. I like it when we wait until the tri-oval before the line to crash, because I'm always in the first crash at plate tracks. So if they wait till coming to the checkered, I've got a shot at finishing, and just kind of happen to manage our way through the carnage and keep it straight. I mean, we got beat up through there, but managed to keep it straight and momentum up.
And a result like this, on top of the win in Charlotte a week ago, helps you out significantly. You enter Charlotte outside the chase cut line. After Charlotte and tonight, you are now tied 6th and just 15 points away from being locked in to the chase for the Challenger Series championship. Darlington coming up. Everyone has that track highlighted because these trucks are so fun with the power increase and knowing how difficult Darlington is. What's the feeling going into that race for you?
I like Darlington. Darlington's a lot of fun. This tire model has always been kind of a challenge for me to know what I need to do to save tire. Darlington's a track that really will exploit your weakness, or expose your weakness. So I'm hoping the truck's on the free side. Maybe with that added horsepower, and the full fuel, we can get some sliding around and manipulate the wear that way, to keep it balanced. Darlington's a good track. It should be a great race. I like that, when there is carnage, a lot of times the cars slide down off of that preferred line and it doesn't trigger iRacing's yellow flag system. So you typically do get some pretty decent long runs there, which should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun seeing how this cutoff for the chase looks next week. But Dustin Hall on the favorable side, 49 points above the cut line here, following wild successes, a win in Charlotte, a second here in Talladega, with Darlington coming up. Dustin looking really fantastic tonight. Before we let you go and let you enjoy your evening and the week ahead, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Always fun seeing on the racetrack, and always fun seeing that one car being successful here on ABN screens.
Yeah, thank you, Carmen. It's been a good run, and like I said last week, hopefully we just keep it moving, keep the fire lit. Obviously, thanks to the league, thank you for the broadcast, your viewers, your entire support system. Big thanks to Team Conti Sim Performance for giving me the clear to come hang out on Monday and Tuesday with some old friends and drive some cartoon race cars. Big thanks to JD Designs, JSD, Johan Seminario Designs, and Blake over at Henderson Graphics. All the teammates, both at Beagle Denny and Tombstone. Great group of people. I definitely look forward to these nights when I can make it, and that's about it.
Outstanding job for the number one team here, back-to-back weeks at the front of the field. Dustin Hall, second place tonight in Talladega. We'll see him again on Monday when the Cup Series
and a
makes here.
Big congrats to Kevin. Heck of a job.
Absolutely a phenomenal job for that team all the way through, and we will see how things pan out here on Monday. Dustin, congratulations. Hopefully we get to talk to you again in a similar fashion as we have last week on Monday.
Sounds good.
That was Dustin Hall, second place finisher here. And we get to back it up just a little bit as we get ready to talk to Kevin Gibney Jr. for the first time in over 4.5 years, a winner here in HTL for the first time ever, a winner on ABN screens. Teamwork made the dream work. A stage win. We saw the coordination there. Everyone kind of knew, at least from our perspective, what was needed to get that 31 truck into the chase conversation, and it was done to perfection for the team tonight. Your first win for the team in so long, since Richmond Season 2 in the Cup Series. Your teammate Josh Susi, a 3-time winner. Josh Gaiman in your truck winning at North Wilkesboro earlier this season, and now you get to break through in victory lane in a massive way. Kevin, walk us through it. It's got to be a pretty good feeling right now.
It's a high I can't explain. It's like you said, it's been 4.5 years since I won an HTL, and I'm just speechless to say the least. I really am speechless over a truck series win, which, a win is a win, and by the looks of it, I might be in the playoffs now or in the chase.
By 3
So I'm
points, you were
hoping,
in. Yep.
So I'm hoping this is good omens for next week and hopefully the rest of the chase. But I'm speechless. Teamwork really did make the dream work.
It was a formula that worked out well. It was going to work out well in Daytona. The latency issue changed things. Susie still closed that in Daytona. But as of what could have been for you and for David in that race, Atlanta, things just sort of didn't play out the right way. Christina Ryan was able to do what she did at Atlanta. But the formula looked good again here. Drop to the back, make those pit stops early, be alone for a little bit, just sort of drive and trust the system there. How important was it being able to have those pit stops alone where it was just you three to coordinate? And obviously, the group got back together at the end. How important was it to keep yourself in that position, and how do you navigate that?
Those pit stops, when I see them like, maybe like, oh, you're pitting too soon, they are important in the sense that it gets us grouped together so we could just hammer down. So hopefully we can gain time on the field, which was evident in the first pit stop, and just hammer down and, hopefully get stage points or come out in a better position when they pit, which again was evident. Second stop, we had a little bit of an issue, but then again, I mean, everything worked out in the end. Those pit stops are really important, and I'm glad to have Susie in my corner and Smeal coordinating that with me.
It's a race win when you needed it the most here at Talladega. Darlington coming up next week. It is a driver's race track. We've seen you win at those racetracks before. Again, Richmond beckons from 4.5 years ago. This truck will be a bit wild with that extra power in Darlington. How do you prepare for that race, knowing that you're looking at potentially being one of 12 drivers fighting for a championship afterwards?
I pray, mostly. But no, I just gotta hopefully get in the session early enough, practice, and just put laps down and know where my marks are, and try to keep a clean nose throughout the race, and just hopefully get a good. I don't think just get a good race is all I need.
It worked out here tonight for the first time on ABN. Kevin Gibney Jr., a race winner here in the HTL Challenger Series in Talladega. Before we let you go and let you celebrate your race win with your team, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A lot of fun seeing you on the racetrack, a lot of fun seeing your team on the racetrack, as it has been the last 3 years and change. The floor is yours.
I have to shout out my team first and foremost. They've, ever since I got them under my name, we'll use air quotes on that, they've more so taken me under their wing and taught me everything I know today. And I can't be more grateful for them. I think I've made strides since ABN first started broadcasting, I'll say. And hopefully it shows, throughout the season. And if I find the time next season, maybe I'll make a return to Cup and show it there. But I can't thank those guys enough. Gaiman, Susie, Smeal, my Wednesday night crew, Kyler, McCarthy, and a whole bunch of other people. I really can't thank them enough. My mom always watching and supporting me, all my friends, family watching, you putting on a great broadcast as always. I got a sneak peek of the winning call before I got pulled in here. And the admin's putting on a great series. And yeah.
It's a lot of fun seeing the team continue to evolve and adapt here, and nothing says it quite like a race win here at Talladega when everything gets thrown together on the last lap. We actually see on the screen the crash happening behind, and it's a good sight knowing that it's all behind you here. Kevin Gibney Jr., a race winner here in Talladega, and 3 points above the cut line heading into Darlington, the track too tough to tame, next Tuesday. Kevin, congratulations. Sincerely, congratulations. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
A phenomenal job for Kevin Gibney Jr. here tonight. Victorious, as we saw the last lap on a couple of different occasions there in slow motion. Absolutely wild stuff across the board. That will do it from us here in Talladega. We're glad you joined us. Join us again on Thursday for the CART IndyCar Series from Richmond Raceway. Very, very theme-oriented there. Gibney's last win was at Richmond. We'll be there again on Thursday. On behalf of everyone here for HTL, all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you all had a safe holiday weekend. We'll see you again on Thursday in Richmond. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Congrats to Kevin Gibney Jr. on breaking a winless drought and conquering Talladega. We'll see you on Thursday.